Good afternoon, folks. Today we're working on the 85 Yamaha Virago 700, and it's got a common problem that it shares with many of the older Viragos from this generation. I'm talking about the 920s, the 750s, and the 700s, 81 to 86-ish, somewhere in there. Typically by the late 80s they sort of got their shit together and fixed this problem. But I'm talking about the very common starter idler gear grind. The symptom is when you hit the button, you'll hear just sort of a grinding gears, and it won't be a reliable start. It might start a little bit, it might turn over the motor a little bit and then grind, or you have to hit it a couple times to really get the motor over to get the bike started. It's not a big deal. It's not a difficult repair. You're going to see it's going to take me less than 20 minutes really to do it. So I'm going to walk you guys through it. First thing, let's demonstrate the problem. So you guys hear there that when I hit the button, it would just sort of grind like that. I'd turn the motor over once or twice, and then it would just sort of slip. So in order to repair this, I've already started a little bit. As you can see down here on the left side, I've removed the gear shift linkage and the left side engine guard. I've also removed this little plate right here, which covers up the clutch linkage, the clutch actuator linkage. It looks like this. That little guy right there. So what I gotta do is keep going. We have a dozen or so Allen head bolts all around here. Once I take those off, this whole cover is going to pop off and you're going to spill a bunch of oil on the ground, so I'm going to put my drip pan there because that's all full of oil there. So I'm going to put my drip pan, pull that off, and I'll show you guys what's inside that's causing this problem. Alright, so we're all loose and all the oil is dripped down. We're going to jiggle this bad boy off. I'll show you what's going on. This assembly here is what's causing the problem. Now what this does, as you can see, it's got nothing to really do with the starter motor. The starter motor and the starter gears are all really strong in here. What this does is when it spins, this one spins, which shoots this one forward, and then this one impacts with the flywheel here. The problem is, there's a couple problems really, is that first off, this spring right here is not needed. The spring is here to send it back once the motor engages, but it retracts just fine on its own. So what the spring is doing is it's actually preventing all of the tooth from engaging on the flywheel. Just really, you can see the worn down part, it's only engaging like just a little bit, just a fingernail's width. There's really no significant wear on the rest of the tooth, so it's not really engaging the flywheel properly. Secondly, I'm not sure exactly what's the second problem, but either it's this thing is spinning too fast and so it grinds on the flywheel, or there's something about the bevel of the gear that makes it difficult to mesh with the flywheel or whatever. But the aftermarket parts of this gear, if you buy this gear, are supposed to fix that problem. So what you want to do is you're going to want to first off take this off, take out the spring, and second, you're going to want to replace this gear if it's as worn down as mine. I'm going to try and get a close-up here. This whole surface here is all worn down, so you're going to want to replace this gear right here. Now I happen to have one. It sent me back about 80 bucks. It's not cheap. If you want, you can just remove the spring and then reinstall all this and see how far that gets you. That might allow this gear to advance up the flywheel and sort of make contact with the whole gear, and you might do fine for thousands of miles. Like I said, it's just going to be a temporary fix. However, I have this one and I'm going to replace it. Take this one, stick it in here, put this little clip on it, and then the whole assembly without the spring goes back into the bike. Before you reassemble, we have a gasket on this surface which probably will need to be replaced because it's difficult to take them off without damaging them. They're probably old and crusty anyway. So we'd replace that, fill it back up, or tighten everything up, and then fill it back up with oil. Alright, so we're back together, oil's in. Let's see if we had any improvement. That sounds a lot better. As you can see, no more grinding, no more slipping. The new parts definitely did their job. So it's not a big deal, guys. It's not a big repair. It only takes, a few minutes. Don't let anyone scare you off. Oh, Viragos, you can't rely on them, whatever, blah, blah, blah. As you can see, I just threw this in here in just a few minutes. So good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.